Hey kids, it's Pastor Austin
and Mr. Brandon
here with this week's Big Truth. So as you guys can see, we have taken over the adult set. So they have allowed us kind of to come in here and really kind of party. So we're super excited about that. We've been able to move out of the kids hall and come in here with the big kids. So we're excited. So we're also excited about this, and that is Advent. So we've got 5 weeks of Advent that are coming up. And so, and I hope you guys know too that if you have younger preschoolers, siblings, or your parents, and everybody in the whole church, we're going to be studying the same thing for 5 weeks together as we lead up to Christmas. So we're just going to jump in, all right? So our first big truth in our whole series, Big Truth this week, is Jesus followers hope in the King. So where does that come from? You guys know, it comes from our Bible verse for this week. I'm going to read 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 3 to you guys, and I want you to listen to see if you hear the big truth for this week. Here we go. 1 Peter 1, 3. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. According to his great mercy, he has caused us to be born again to a living hope through the resurrection of Christ from the dead. So that's our big truth this week, is that Jesus followers hope in the King, and that's our Bible verse where it comes from. So let me read it one more time. And again, I want you guys to listen, and when you, maybe at home, when you hear me say the big truth or kind of hear that in there, maybe you can kind of give a big thumbs up at home. All right, so here we go. 1 Peter 1, 3. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. According to his great mercy, he has caused us to be born again to a living hope. All right, good job. Through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. So our big truth this week is that Jesus followers hope in the King. So Mr. Brandon's got an activity that he's going to kind of have you guys do at home. So I'm going to let him kind of talk about that.
All right, guys. So our activity this week comes really from our Bible story. And the key of our Bible story this week is the King is coming. So you can do this one of two ways. You can go to our resource page and print off the resource that looks just like this. It's a crown with the word King above it. Or if you're super creative, you can just grab some paper and some crayons and just draw your own crown. So as you guys are coloring your crowns or drawing them and decorating them, you can decorate them however you want to. Talk as a family of how Jesus is King and how we are longing for his return, and what are the implications for our lives in that. And as you're having that conversation, talk about some things that maybe you guys long for as a family, and remind everyone as you're having the conversation that Jesus followers long for the King.
It's awesome. So last thing, Mr. Brandon kind of talked about it just a little bit, but our Bible story for this week. So just to kind of give you a hint too, we're going to be in the book of Matthew, and we're going to actually be in the book of Matthew for the next 5 weeks, but also as we go into a new year, 2021. And so we're going to kind of take the book of Matthew to kind of start off with in the Advent series. So that's where our Bible story comes from this week. It's Matthew chapter 1, verses 1 through 17. Now, if you start to look at that, you're going to see a lot of names, and they're probably going to be hard to pronounce, but that's okay, because here's why that's important. Is because it's the genealogy of Jesus. We open up the book of Matthew and we see the line of Jesus. In other words, from the very beginning, we know that God made a promise. He made a promise of redemption, and that promise is fulfilled in Jesus Christ. And so we can see all those people through the line of Jesus, through his family, that led up to him coming into the world. Take a look at that passage. It's really different. We don't often read genealogies or family members, but I think it's a really great way to start kind of the Advent series and really help prepare your heart for the Christmas season. So Matthew chapter 1, verses 1 through 17 is our Bible story for this week. Hey, we hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great week, guys.